The 1950s was a decade of absolute high-stakes rebuilding for the United Kingdom. The dark days of the war were finally fading, automotive factories were firing back up on all cylinders, and British car companies were desperate to show the world that UK engineering could still dominate the global market. But you don't catch up to the rest of the world by playing it safe. While a few conservative brands stuck to boring, pre-war blueprints, other manufacturers decided to push all their chips to the middle of the table. They poured millions into unproven engine concepts, wild styling, and radical manufacturing techniques that the public thought were completely unhinged. Today, we are looking at 10 jaw-dropping British cars that were the absolute biggest automotive gambles of the 1950s, machines that either revolutionized the world or nearly bankrupted the companies that dared to build them. Number 10. Jaguar XK120. Let's start with a car that was never even supposed to exist in the first place. In 1948, Jaguar founder Sir William Lyons had a magnificent new twin-overhead cam straight-six engine, but he didn't have a car ready to put it in. Instead of waiting around, he pulled off an absolute rogue move. He rapidly sketched up a gorgeous, low-slung aluminum sports car body just to act as a temporary rolling showcase for an upcoming motor show. He only planned to build about 200 of them. But the moment the silk sheet came off the Jaguar XK120, the motoring world absolutely lost its mind. Orders flooded into the factory at a pace Jaguar was completely unprepared for. That long, muscular hood and those sweeping fenders made it look like pure, moving sculpture. And it wasn't just a pretty face. That 3.4-liter XK engine pushed the car past 120 miles per hour, officially making it the fastest production car on the planet. Jaguar took a massive financial gamble by immediately ripping up their small-scale production plans, switching the factory over to heavy steel tooling, and mass-producing the car. It transformed Jaguar overnight from a boutique niche builder into a global performance powerhouse. Number 9. Ford Anglia 105e. If you walked into a British Ford showroom at the tail end of the 1950s, you were guaranteed to double-take at the new Anglia 105e. Ford's design team decided to take a massive styling risk that had corporate executives sweating bullets. They built a family economy car with a reverse-rake, backward-sloping rear window. It looked completely alien next to traditional traffic. But the engineers weren't crazy. The design allowed for massive rear passenger headroom without making the car longer, and it kept the rear glass perfectly dry in heavy British rain. The gamble went deeper than just a strange greenhouse, though. Ford also debuted a brand new overhead valve engine layout under the hood, the legendary Kent engine. It was incredibly light, sipped fuel, and was built to take endless mechanical abuse. While traditional buyers initially scoffed at the spaceship styling, the sheer reliability and clever interior space won the nation over. The Anglia went on to sell well over 1 million units, turning a massive visual gamble into an absolute cultural icon. Number 8. Armstrong Siddeley Sapphire. Armstrong Siddeley was a highly prestigious nameplate that built two things beautifully: luxury car for old money and high-performance jet engine for aircraft. But by the early 50s, they watched brands like Jaguar and Rover steal their wealthy clientele, so they decided to launch a massive, high-stakes counterattack with the Sapphire. This giant executive saloon was an absolute masterclass in high-end British luxury, featuring a dashboard that looked like a piece of fine antique furniture and an interior draped in rich leather hides. To give it an edge, engineers utilized their aerospace background to build a highly advanced six-cylinder engine featuring hemispherical combustion chambers, pairing it with complex pre-selected gearbox that allowed for incredibly smooth gear changes. But building an A-plane-grade luxury car on a carmaker's budget is a quick way to bleed cash. Jaguar was selling equivalent luxury and speed for a massive discount, making the complex Sapphire a tough financial sell. The gamble failed to generate the massive volume the company desperately needed, forcing Armstrong Siddeley to pull the plug on car production entirely to focus on aerospace. Number 7. Rover Jet 1. While most car companies in the 1950s were trying to figure out how to make traditional pistons and valves move a little bit faster, the engineers at Rover decided to throw the entire concept of the internal combustion engine in the trash. They asked a beautifully mad question: why not just use a jet engine? The result was the Rover Jet 1. Instead of a rumbling pistons, this open-top prototype was powered by a howling, high-RPM gas turbine engine heavily derived from aircraft technology. It was an absolute global media sensation. During high-speed testing on a closed Belgian highway, this futuristic testbed blasted past 150 miles per hour, proving that turbine power possessed terrifying potential. Rover poured an astronomical amount of time, money, and engineering talent into trying to civilize the jet car for the masses. But the laws of physics eventually caught up with them. The fuel consumption was laughably high. There was a massive delay between stepping on the gas pedal and the turbine actually spooling up, and the manufacturing costs were completely out of reach. Rover eventually had to admit defeat, but the Jet 1 remains a magnificent monument to British corporate bravery. Number 6. Triumph TR2. By the dawn of the 1950s, Standard Triumph was in a state of absolute desperation. They desperately needed a high-volume sports car to export to the United States to bring in valuable American dollars, but their early prototypes were universal disasters. Management was backed into a corner, kill the sports car program entirely, or take one final, underfunded gamble. They doubled down, operating with a shoestring budget. Engineers were forced to raid the corporate parts bin. They took a heavy-duty engine from a standard tractor, tuned it for performance, and dropped it into a simplified, no-nonsense steel chassis. The resulting Triumph TR2 was raw, basic, and had an open cockpit built strictly for driving. But because it was so light and uncomplicated, that rugged tractor-derived engine rocketed the TR2 past the 100-mile-per-hour barrier. It was fast, it was incredibly cheap to buy, and it could handle daily commuting duties without breaking down. American buyers absolutely fell in love with it. It saved the company from financial ruin and laid the foundation for decades of iconic TR sports cars. Number 5. Lotus Elite. Colin Chapman completely despised weight. While every other sports car builder in the late 1950s was building heavy steel frames, the founder of Lotus wanted to drop a technological bomb on the industry. In 1957, he unveiled the Lotus Elite, a car that bypassed a traditional chassis entirely. Instead, the Elite was one of the very first production vehicles on Earth to use a full fiberglass monocoque structure. The entire body of the car was a frame. It was a staggering, radical piece of engineering. Powered by a featherweight Coventry Climax engine, the Elite possessed an almost supernatural level of balance, slicing through tight corners with a level of agility that left traditional sports cars looking clumsy. But manufacturing this advanced fiberglass sculpture turned into a complete financial nightmare. The labor required was intensely specialized, and early models suffered from catastrophic structural cracking right around the suspension mounting points. The warranty repair costs mounted so quickly that Lotus reportedly lost significant money on every single Elite that left the factory, proving that changing the course of automotive history can be a very expensive business. Number 4. Jowett Javelin. If you wanted to see a family car that looked like it traveled back in time from the future, you bought a Jowett Javelin. Built by a small independent manufacturer out of Yorkshire, the Javelin arrived with sweeping, aerodynamic fastback lines that made boxy British family sedans look prehistoric. And the mechanical layout was just as radical. Jowett bypassed traditional engine designs to build a highly advanced liquid-cooled flat-four engine, matching it with a sophisticated torsion bar suspension system that gave the car a remarkably smooth, cloud-like ride quality. Motoring journalists went wild for it, praising its massive interior cabin space and high-speed highway composure. The tragedy was that Jowett was simply too small a company to handle the immense financial weight of their own innovation. Mass-producing such a complex engine and transmission setup required massive capital they didn't have, and early mechanical bugs led to a wave of expensive warranty claims. The financial bleeding was instantaneous. By 1954, this brilliant, forward-thinking independent builder was forced to shut down car production forever. Number 3. Standard Vanguard. At the tail end of the 1940s, the executives of the Standard Motor Company made a high-stakes corporate move that horrified industry analysts. Instead of offering a wide variety of different models to hedge their bets, the company decided to cancel their entire lineup and risk their entire corporate survival on a single vehicle. That vehicle was the Standard Vanguard. Heavily inspired by modern, voluptuous American styling, the Vanguard featured a bulbous fastback shape, integrated wings, and a wide interior designed to handle everything from international export markets to rugged commercial use. It was a terrifying gamble. If the public hated the Vanguard, Standard would go under almost instantly. Fortunately, the gamble paid off beautifully. The rugged, over-engineered four-cylinder engine inside the Vanguard became an absolute tank, successfully carrying the company through the lean post-war years. That same bulletproof motor would go on to generate massive income for the brand by powering everything from Ferguson tractors to Triumph sports cars. Number 2. BMC Mini. No countdown of automotive gambles would be complete without the legendary Mini. The project was born out of pure geopolitical panic during the 1956 Suez Crisis, which triggered severe fuel shortages across the UK. The head of the British Motor Corporation demanded a microscopic economy car that could carry 4 adults while sipping fuel through a straw. Engineer Alec Isagonis completely threw out the traditional automotive textbook. He took a conventional engine, flipped it sideways, shoved the gearbox directly underneath it, and pushed all 4 wheels out to the absolute bleeding edges of the bodywork. It was a packaging miracle. 80% of the car's footprint was completely dedicated to passengers and luggage. The public instantly fell in love with its cheap running costs and its hilarious go-kart handling. But behind the scenes, the finances were a disaster. Because the engineering was so radically complex, the manufacturing costs were incredibly high, and BMC reportedly lost money on every basic model they sold during the early years. It took years of introducing high-end luxury and performance versions to actually turn the Mini into a profitable machine, but it permanently rewrote the rules of global car design forever. Number 1. Austin A90 Atlantic. Taking our absolute number 1 spot is a car born from pure, unadulterated hubris. In the post-war era, the British government had a strict mandate for car companies: export or die. Austin decided that the only way to secure their future was to launch a massive assault on the lucrative American market. Their weapon of choice? The Austin A90 Atlantic. Instead of building a sensible British car, they tried to out-Detroit the Americans. They splashed the Atlantic with massive chrome bumpers, heavy sweeping bodylines, bizarre tail fins, and an eccentric center-mounted driving light. They even packed it with power windows, a luxury virtually unheard of in Europe at the time. Austin invested a colossal fortune into developing and marketing this car, fully expecting American buyers to flock to showrooms. But the gamble crashed and burned spectacularly. American buyers looked at the Atlantic and saw a strange, heavy car that only packed a modest 4-cylinder engine under the hood, when they could buy a massive, roaring American V8 sedan for the exact same money. Sales collapsed completely, and after only a few thousand examples were built, Austin quietly killed the project, leaving the Atlantic as one of the most expensive and high-profile commercial failures of the decade. Ultimately, these 10 vehicles prove that real progress only happens when a company is willing to put everything on the line. Some of these gambles created timeless legends, while others taught the industry a brutal lesson in financial reality. Which of these wild 1950s experiments do you think deserve to win the gamble? Let us know in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next video.